It's a short 30-minute flight to Mandalay. It's the second largest city in Myanmar with over 1 million people. And there's lots of traffic. We're staying at the Mandalay Sedona Hotel. It has a great location just across from the Royal Palace with a view of Mandalay Hill. After lunch, we're ready to explore a new city. We start at Kuthodaw Pagoda. This is the world's largest book. There are 730 of these white structures. Inside each is a marble tablet inscribed on both sides with a page of text from the Tipitaka, the canon of Theravada Buddhism. Construction began in 1860, and the inscriptions were opened to the public in 1868. In the middle of the inscription buildings is a 188-foot golden stupa. This model helps understand just how big the world's biggest book is. The stupa was modeled after Shwe Kyin in Bein. Our next stop is Shwe Kyin Monastery. This is the library. We get a glimpse inside, and it's not what I expected. We're here at dusk to watch the monks file in for their evening prayers. There's the call to prayer. After prayers, we serve the monks cold drinks and give them copybooks. We meet the head monk, and he thanks us for our gifts. Then he gives us each a memento of our visit to his monastery. After breakfast, we're back in Mandalay traffic. We find ourselves in the kitchen of the Maha Gandhayon Monastery. There are over 1,000 monks here to feed. Looks like the kitchen staff is up to it. Some of the monks are grabbing theirs to go. We're here to watch the monks queue for their main meal of the day at 10 a.m. And we're not alone. This is quite a tourist attraction. Sandar puts us in the best spot before it really gets crowded. The monastery is not very far from another tourist attraction, the Ubn Bridge. The 3/4-mile long bridge was built in 1850 and is the oldest and longest teakwood bridge in the world. The approach is lined with souvenir shops. Friendly hawkers patrol the beach and the bridge with souvenirs and refreshments. Brightly colored boats are available for hire. On the way to lunch, we pass a street full of stone carvers, Buddha factories. We enjoy a nice lunch overlooking the Irrawaddy River. A boat's waiting for us just below the restaurant. We know it's ours because our flag is flying. We cruise north up the Irrawaddy. The riverbanks are teeming with activity. It's a busy river. All kinds of goods and people are moving on the river. This is Mingum Temple, a huge stupa begun in 1790 and never finished. When completed, it was to be 490 feet tall. The captain turns us around here and we head back toward Mandalay. Even the large riverboats have the same distinctive bowed appearance in the long-tail propulsion systems we saw in Indy Lake. We don't have time to do it justice, but we have to visit the Royal Palace. This is a replica built in the 1990s. The palace was looted by the British in 1885 and then destroyed by Allied bombing in World War II. It's hard to imagine the grandeur that was here in King Mindon's time. This is the Glass Palace, made famous by the book. It was the king's living quarters. The watchtower survived the bombing in World War II. It's not too far to Mandalay Hill. We're going to Kuthodaw Pagoda to watch the sunset. There's the world's largest book below. The golden mirrors amplify the golden light of the setting sun. We watch the sun sink into the haze on the hills beyond the Irrawaddy River. We're back just in time for the farewell dinner. Music is provided by a Sayung Wayung, a traditional Burmese folk musical ensemble. The xylophone-like instrument is a patala. We're entertained with a puppet show. And then some traditional dancing. For the finale, we were all invited to join in the dance. Our time here is about done, but we have a couple more can't-miss sights. We're following a motorcycle of flowers to Kaidan Market. It's very busy. Sandar explains that this is a wholesale market where people buy produce to sell at smaller rural markets. There's everything here, from produce, some familiar and some not so, like peppers and potatoes, and tomatoes and beans. Bananas still on the stalk. There are all kinds of fish and beautiful fresh flowers and spices in vibrant colors. Sandar takes us down a street devoted to offerings. It's considered bad form to offer money directly, so these paper flowers are made of money. Here's a peacock made of 100 kyat notes. This shop sells monks' and nuns' clothing. We're back on the road to our last stop, the Golden Palace Monastery, Schweinendau. It's the single remaining major structure of the original royal palace. King Thibaw dismantled the building at the royal palace in 1878, believing that it was haunted by his father's spirit. The building was reconstructed here as a monastery over the next 5 years. Elaborate teak carvings adorn all parts of the building. Under the eaves, you can still see a hint of the gold leaf that covered the entire building at one time. The exterior walls are covered with carved panels. Many of the figures are in a prayer posture. The winged angels show the growing European influence. The interior shows the same attention to detail. The three-dimensional carvings on the doors are really nice. But the most intricate carvings adorn the roof. That wraps up this trip. It's back to the airport to begin our long journey home. Thanks to all our fellow travelers for making this trip even more interesting. And an extra special thanks to Sandar for showing us her beautiful country, and to Amanda for miraculously making all the normal frustrations of travel disappear.